And welcome back, folks, to No Facts, All Logic, with my co-host here, Cam,
Hello.
and I'm your host, Joe. And I guess we'll get right into it. How's your weekend been?
Not bad. Worked yesterday and wasn't feeling great, so cut it out, made it through the day, and then had to finish up some homework. Hung out with listening to kids. So looking forward to a break. But how's yours been?
It's been really good. I've been playing my way through the new Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, nice.
It's really an incredible game.
Yeah.
I actually want to show you a video of like one of the scenes because I think you'll laugh at it. So.
The squirrel lunges at your foot and bites it.
Just smoked a squirrel.
Yeah. It's like it's one of the most graphic games when it comes to like RP. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen like that type of like game features. Like
Right.
you fucking kick a squirrel and it explodes.
Right.
I mean, lesson learned: don't kick animals.
Animal brutality.
Yeah. I also came across like basically two bears, like a bear cub and another one.
Yeah.
Murdered the mother, left the bear cub alone.
What the fuck?
It was actually really sad. It like started mimicking his mom, and then it ate his mom's body and stuff. Pretty gruesome.
Aw, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah. But you know, I got 46 hours in that game. Basically, only playing it for like 2 hours after work every day.
Did it just come out recently?
Yeah, it just came out like last weekend.
Oh wow.
Is
You
when
already
I
got it.
actually got to pick it up.
And
Yeah.
You already have 46 hours.
Yeah, it's basically a full-time job, you know?
Nice. So you got a full-time job on top of a full-time job.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like 4 hours after work, and then it's like 12 hours. Yesterday I got in.
Just grinding, dude.
Yeah.
That's good, though.
I feel like I've only scratched the surface. I'm just finishing. I think there's like 3 parts, and I'm just winding up the first part.
Yeah.
So I guess that means I got another 80 hours
Yeah.
that I gotta grind through. And it's not like a typical grind where you're like fighting the same enemies every time. Every time you go into a situation, it's like, oh, this fight works very differently.
Right.
And it involves like a lot more problem solving than like I shoot bad guys in the head.
Right. I say that keeps it interesting though, so you don't get like bored with the same thing over and over. So that mixes it up.
Yeah, this game was in development for like 8 years.
Oh wow.
And I was hyped when they first announced it. It's like it's Baldur's Gate 3, so it's based off of D&D.
Oh yep.
And it was like, it's like a video adaptation of like the modern D&D campaign. It's very good.
That's awesome. So when did the other two come out?
Like, I will want to say like maybe the early 2000s, and then like somewhere in the mid 2000s.
Yeah. So really spaced out.
Yeah, each of these games, they're different developers, I believe. But each of the games have always gotten high ratings.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the highest rated games that's come out.
That's awesome.
And it is the highest game that's come out this year.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I never heard of it until you mentioned it, so that's pretty cool.
It's really good. And it's right now it's only on PC, but
Yeah.
PlayStation's going to be the next one. And I think they're struggling a little bit to get the Xbox release out.
Right. That's cool. So you don't play like with other people. It's just you.
Yeah, you can play with other people. Yeah, it's very like co-op story based.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a campaign going with Matt, and he's off and on right now.
Yeah.
But my solo campaign, I'm getting there.
That's true. No, it looks like a pretty cool game. Graphics are good. And the fact that they mix it up with everything is pretty good too.
Yeah,
so
that.
not the same thing every time you play.
Yep. I had there was an encounter where like it's all about decision making and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had an encounter where like I had my eye ripped out
Right.
and basically kissed and put back in, and now it looks really fucked up.
Right.
And then I had another encounter where a guy wanted to do surgery on my brain through my eye, and it would not let me, like, let him do it, because, like, the option where I'm guessing it would normally let you do it is like, hey, I only have one good eye now. I can't risk this.
Right.
I'm guessing if you, like, let him do brain surgery on you, it blinds you in that eye.
Right. Nah, that's cool though. No, haven't played any like video games for a while, whatever. But that seems like a pretty cool one.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually should be a rated M game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with COD and stuff, I understand this is shooter and stuff, but I feel like those are teen. Like, even though they get M ratings, those are basically teens. This is actually a mature game.
Right.
Like, you can basically run around naked, and it shows everything.
Right.
If you wanted to play that way.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I think the last Call of Duty I played, he was maybe Cold War.
Cold War?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was alright, but my brother's more into like Call of Duty and stuff, and he used to play Battlefield too a lot.
Yeah.
Battlefield 4. I had Hardline, but I didn't really care for that one too much.
Yeah, as far as like shooters go right now, I really enjoy Battle Bits. It's not as like graphically as like Battlefield. It's more like blocks, but it's really cool. It's like because there's a lot more focus on like map layout, the guns function, and like the overall game modes, and like they swap up the maps quite a bit and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to refine it to be perfect. And I certainly feel like that's what they're doing. And it's really cool to just like I really enjoy the angle, even though like I'm shooting block people, basically. But it's really cool of like how the mechanics work in that game.
Did you ever jump on the Fortnite train?
No, I did not.
No, because I remember like the college that Alyssa and I went to, that we met at. I mean, obviously it was like a, nationwide thing, worldwide thing where everybody jumped on that train, but and people still love the game. I remember when it was like the number one like game, and but there was another one that was similar to that. And it reminded me a lot of Call of Duty and Battlefield, where you had obviously Call of Duty games, Battlefield, but you could do a little bit more in Battlefield than you could in Call of Duty, like drive cars and shoot while in the vehicle, like just different stuff like that. You didn't have to be on campaign to do that. But then Fortnite, there was Fortnite and there was PUBG.
Yeah, I played a lot of PUBG.
Which one did because I liked Fortnite, but then when I played PUBG, I'm like, it seems like you can do a little bit more.
Than Fortnite?
No, I'm just saying like, not than Fortnite, but just than some other games. I felt like it was pretty underrated. So not more than Fortnite, but just more than like certain games.
So PUBG came out before Fortnite.
Did it?
And it like defined the genre of like, oh, we're going into a system and it's gonna close in on us and force like it's basically an anxiety wave is how I feel like when I'm playing that. And it was a really cool game. I stopped playing it because like maps wouldn't load in for me. Like I was running a toaster. There were a lot of like just mistakes in the game that I didn't really care for.
Yeah.
And my PC clearly couldn't handle for the time. So that's why I didn't really get full on into the PUBG scene like a lot of my friends. And it's also why I didn't care for like picking up Fortnite.
Yeah.
One, because everyone called it a kids game, and it's like, yeah, I'm not really interested in playing a kids game or whatever. And like the building element didn't interest me at all.
No.
Although BattleBits has a little bit of building elements, but I like theirs. It's not like you're building stairways to heaven or anything. It's like, no, you're building like a sand wall basically to protect you from bullets. So I like that aspect a lot more than just like building a staircase up here or whatever, or I'm breaking down like building blocks over here so I can build this over here. I like I come in with a fine supply and I can build a wall like where I need to because this is a high intense battle situation right here.
Yeah.
It's a lot more strategy and teamwork in battle bits than in Fortnite.
No, I didn't play Fortnite until I think after I had left that college, and I was on my brother's PlayStation. I think he had downloaded it or something. He bought the game, and it was fun, but it wasn't. I never got super like sucked into the game. It was just fun, kind of like if you were playing solo with a group. But honestly, I mean, I used to play with my brother-in-law quite a bit, and we played with some other family and stuff, but never really got too sucked into that.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite's huge because it's free, right? So
Yeah.
anyone can download it and just give it a try. And then they make their money on like custom skins and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, the skins are cool. Like the John Wick skin was one of the more popular ones, so that was pretty cool. But honestly, after a while, it just was. I'm more into like sports teams anyway, like Madden and like UFC, baseball, hockey, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
Do you actually have the gaming system here, or like?
I got an Xbox One S, but no PC or PlayStation or anything like that.
The One S is what Larian Studios, the developers, is like complaining about with Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Because I believe when they release to Xbox, they have to release to the One S and their actual like higher intense.
Yeah.
They got the higher intense one down, but they're having a hard time like developing like a lower resolution.
Oh, really?
To accommodate the Xbox One, and they can't release to Xbox unless they accommodate for that.
Yeah, I don't play a lot. I got probably 3.5 years ago or so, right around time COVID was just starting, is when I got my Xbox and played for a little bit, and I used to get like pretty involved with like Madden, like franchise player or whatever, and then after a while I was just like, all right, this is the same thing. It's pretty boring, so I kind of fell out of it, and then we had 2 kids and planning a wedding, so just kind of got involved in all that other stuff, so just haven't really played consistently, but played at the beginning of this year, right around New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, so I played a lot of UFC. It was pretty cool, but then I just too competitive with myself, so I was like, I'd lose like a couple fights in a row. I was like, all right, fuck this, like now I gotta, so I end on a win. Same thing with Madden, like win this game or lose this one. No, I gotta win. So
you never played League of Legends, have you?
No.
It makes me super competitive. Like it brings out that, and I'm like super toxic in that game too.
All right.
I'm League clean for like 4 years now.
Really?
And I say that like it just makes you realize like it's okay to like seed in a little evil. Like, oh, your teammate just called you an idiot for not helping them. It's like, okay, I'm never gonna help you ever again. And you just spend the rest of your time avoiding them, and they just hate their existence.
See, that's the problem too with Fortnite. Was that, especially when I played with my brother-in-law, he'd always come up with the devise a plan, right? Like take a helicopter, oh, we're gonna fly here, take a boat, drive to this place. Okay. And he would literally just like abort the plan. And then I'm like, dude, we could have finished first. Like we just died. So it was like always wanted to finish first. So it'd be like, I don't know, what is it, like 100 players or something like that at once. So it was like, okay, we're in the final 25. We're in the final 15, 5, 10. And I was like, awesome. But we never won. I was like, so I just stopped playing. Yeah. So I want to win.
You need that win.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever got first in Fortnite. So I'm going to have to, that's a bucket list item. Otherwise, I'm way too competitive. So, but.
That's what I like about Battle Bits. It's like, because it breaks you up into like squadrons.
Yeah.
And like just, I want to say Friday I was playing with a friend and we were in a squad. And basically our squad made a decision, which is kind of abnormal for your squad to be all on the same page.
Right.
But we basically all spawned in on one of our teammates that's sniping one angle, and they're on an island sniping into the enemy area, and it was like we're holding out this island. It was sick. The enemy sent 2 helicopters because we're being so annoying, and we were holding them back. And like eventually they put a lot of resources on like getting us off that island, where our teammates would go in and actually capture the objectives. Because the island wasn't an objective; it was just a good angle to like annoy the enemy. And we were annoying enough that they sent a lot of resources after us. It was, even though we died on that island, it's like we won the war.
Right. That's pretty cool. I think the other thing I want to get into too is the virtual reality.
Oh yeah.
But I heard that you can get lost in that. Like you can just spend like a fuck ton of time, and it's really fun, really addicting, and it's like I know some people who just have got sucked into it.
Really? I don't know anyone that's gotten sucked into it.
No, when we went out to Ohio, Alyssa's her sister's fiance had one, and then I think my godmother and my cousin, like they would play a lot.
Really?
Different games and stuff. It was just really fun. I mean, maybe not like 10 hours, but maybe, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's like, you don't realize, it's like, it might not even be that long, maybe like half hour, 45 minutes, but I mean, it's still, depending on what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But I think they have some, I think I was watching on Joe Rogan's podcast that they have some, he's talking to Matt Serra, who was a former UFC fighter. They have some stuff for like boxing, and, which I think is cool, but it'd be cool if they had it, and Joe Rogan was talking about it, I was like, if they had sensors for like your legs, your elbows and stuff, you do like Muay Thai or Taekwondo.
I know, like when I was a kid, you could get it like a kickboxing set that would like teach you like where to hit and stuff. Yeah. My dad got it. I never used it at all. Nah. Because he didn't set it up. And it was like, it was just like a really cool gift, but it just bought it. You gave it to me, but you never set it up, kind of thing.
And they have like fight camp. They have like the punching bag that you can, follow along with different combinations, different striking techniques and stuff like that. Shadow boxing routines. I think Peloton has it. So I mean, there's apps that you don't need but I think the virtual reality portion of it would be pretty cool, especially if like, I don't know, you see like some of these professional boxers and stuff doing it.
Oh really?
It's like, yeah. So it's pretty cool. But I think that's the way the future's going, so I think it'd be cool to jump on the bandwagon.
I hear like motion sickness is really big on virtual reality. So
if you're doing like roller coaster and stuff.
Yeah, it gives you vertigo. Like
really,
what your body senses doesn't align with what you're seeing in game, and that just causes like motion sickness. For example, if you're like running in the game, but you don't feel anything like to stimulate like, oh, we're actually running right now, then it causes like there's something off. Your brain says something's not right here because we're seeing you're moving, but we're not sensing anything else indicating that. I hear like throwing a fan in front of you can help like stimulate that sense and sets off motion sickness for quite a while. I don't know. It's just not technology I have really dove into because I just don't have room in my house.
Yeah.
To like try it out. Nor do I think it would be like extra fun or anything.
No, I could see some maybe like shooting games would be pretty cool and stuff like that. But the only thing that's dangerous with especially the boxing, or like if it was a Muay Thai version of it, is that you'd have to have enough space to be able to do that. I don't think and if you got little kids and they're running up on you, and you don't know, and you throw a freaking right hook.
You can find videos after videos of people like smashing their fist in the wall.
Oh yeah, there was a girl at a college. It was on, I think it was on YouTube or on TikTok, and Alyssa was showing me the video, and she was doing the virtual reality, and she like had the set on, and she fucking bolted into the wall and like knocked herself out.
No way.
So it was like, or like knocked herself to the ground. Yeah. And it was like, so I think you're what you were saying is like your senses are thrown off, and then it's like when you're about to fall in that deep sleep and like your body jolts and it like shocks you. It's like the same thing. Like you just get this like sudden urge to like move and
yeah, maybe it's like, oh, I gotta run over here, but your brain actually processes, let's run.
yeah. And then you actually run. You're like, why did I do that?
Instead of pressing the button for run, you actually run.
Yeah, but no, I think it's like getting like the feel for it, and once people do, I think it's hard because some people are just so used to playing like games on console or games on PC. So the only movement, I mean, I don't know, you're moving your hands on the controller and stuff like that, or on the keyboard. I wish I was better at PC, but I didn't grow up playing a lot of PC games like Donnie. He's really good at PC. He likes console too, but I think he prefers PC more. So like he'll play MW2 on there, and he finished. I think they were doing like a battle royale or something. He finished like third out of like 150 people or something crazy like that.
That is very impressive.
So he's pretty. Like he used to play WoW. He used to play World of Warcraft a lot.
What a guy.
He played. So his son Jake, my stepbrother, he's big into Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
So I played it a couple times. It was actually pretty fun. I was still learning. I think I might have won one game out of the 2 or 3 that I played, but Donnie was really good at it too.
Yeah, the problem with Magic, in my experience, is the sets come out too soon.
Yeah.
For my taste, at least. Like, it's set after set after set. It just, I got burnt. Like, I got into it when Magic got it in high school, like where you could just buy one deck and just hang out with some of the people that played Magic that were in the same boat. Other kids in high school were just spent so much money on. I'm like, are you spending your entire paychecks from your side job just on Magic cards?
Yeah.
Like, some kids were, and not like I have any room to complain because I spent $900 on League of Legends and then $1,300 on Hearthstone. So I just didn't spend the money on physical cards.
Right.
But digital cards, that's okay.
Right.
Hearthstone, that definitely took so much money out of me, though.
Did it?
Yeah, I mean, $1,300.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah.
Doing part-time work. It was a fun time. I really liked that era of Hearthstone. And then same issue came up. It was like set after set, and I didn't have enough time to like put in enough grind to actually like unlock cards the way I wanted to. So I just stopped playing.
Aren't their cards pretty valuable too?
No.
Or what? I thought there was I don't know. I couldn't remember if it was Magic or there was another one that was. I don't remember what they were, but they were pretty valuable.
Magic cards can get valuable, but the issue is like I don't. It's not like I ever look at a video game like it's going to be a commodity at all. Like, I'm never going to buy something in a video game that's like limited. That's only limited because I'm trying to. The only times I buy stuff in games that like it creates a era of FOMO around it are like skins, and that's because, and even that's pretty rare. I think the only time I've like bought outside of high school, because in high school like I bought skins with League of Legends and stuff, but I evolved, and the only times I buy skins now is like leftover currency from Path of Exile, like because I bought like it's a free game, but how they like basically set up this free game is organization. If you want to optimize your organization because you really like the game and you just want to organize better, then you would buy these like stashes basically, and it auto sorts your stuff. It's very useful, and it's only if you're going to play the game more like in the later game. And that's like, and I had leftover stuff from that I bought skins for.
Yeah.
I don't buy into like, I really don't like it when the games like are like, this is a limited boost box. That's what I'm getting at. Boost boxes, I don't get at all.
No.
Like, it's clearly just a gambling simulation, and I don't like that.
No.
No, because I never win.
Right. Yeah, that would piss me off.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool though. No, like I said, I played it a couple times. I never got super into it, but I always had, a group of friends who liked that game, and they would play a lot. Sometimes they'd play in study hall or during class, or if we had like some free time towards the end of class, they'd get done with our work or whatever. College, short time I was there, I didn't really see anybody or hear anybody talk about that much. It was more based around Fortnite and like Call of Duty, and you had it was pretty cool. I mean, it'd be like a Friday night or something, Saturday night. You didn't have classes on the weekends and stuff, so there would be like a couple of us. We'd order food, and Alyssa and I would hang out, and then she'd come into the room with us, or it'd just be the guys or whatever, and we'd play Madden, get some chicken wings and pizza, and it was pretty cool. It was some of those guys I like, but
there's a new card game that I've bought some packs for.
Yeah.
It's called Flesh and Blood. Dude,
huh.
It's really cool.
Is it?
I really like it, but it's probably gonna have the same issues. I think I'm not gonna buy like any more boosters for it or anything like that. I'm like $75 into it, and I think I'm pretty happy with what I got out of it. And I think I'm enough into it, or hopefully can stay competitive with my buddy.
Yeah.
I might go into it way more than I do though.
See, it was funny because when Alyssa got done school, she moved in. So we left college 2018. So she moved in May, but she would visit. And when she moved in May 2018, she had to see how competitive, like, my brother and I, like, really were. Well, my brother's just as competitive as I am, if that tells you anything. So, like, growing up, we couldn't even play video games to get, like, finish a game together because it would just end in a fist fight or grappling match. So, and we'd have friends over, same thing. For some reason, we just had that, like, competitive nature where we had to be better than one another. So that's a big regret. But Alyssa, she and I played video games a few times together, and she's actually really good at Madden. Like, she's actually really good. She scored probably 3 or 4 times on me. I was like, damn. I was like, I gotta step it up a little bit. I still won, but it was fun playing because it was something different that we could do together and just have a good time with, whatnot. So it was nice to kind of die that competitive nature down. But I remember when we were in the hospital for Carter, it was like just before he came, and I got super involved in Madden because we were staying at the hospital room, and the nurse comes in and she's like, just remember, this isn't a vacation, like, you're about to have a baby. I was like, I know, bitch. Like,
oh, were you playing it in the hospital?
Oh yeah. I think she still has a video of me. I was playing, like, we were taking care of Liam, and then we went in a few times before, because Carter was born 3 weeks premature, 2 or 3 weeks premature, and so we went in, and we had gone into the hospital prior to that, like a week or two prior, and she wasn't having, there was a breach, so we had to go from, I think, the uterus or the wall or whatever, I forget, and there was a breach though, and she
like
ended
a
up,
hole in the
no,
sack?
like he had, like, yeah, there's something like broken off, like the stomach wall or something like that. Something had breached, and I don't remember the specifics of it. So we had to go in, and they found it, I think, on a ultrasound. But anyway, I brought the Xbox and whatnot, and I set it up in the room. I'm just playing, and shortly after we had Carter, but the nurse came in and was like, just remember, this isn't a vacation. And I was like, bitch.
I'll treat it how I want. I got time off of work
Fuck
right
you
now.
mean? He's not here yet. He's about to come. I was like, I know. I was like, that's my main priority, but I'm, like, just trying to, like, ease my freaking anxiety. Alyssa's trying to ease her anxiety. Like, you just try to need that, something to escape.
Yeah, it beats, like, just staying next to the bed for hours on end. Like,
No,
meeting.
it was like I was right there. She needed anything, she wanted a snack. All right, I'll go down and get one. She wanted a drink. All right, I'll go get one. She wanted ice, which is a big craving. Yeah, okay, I'll go get you some. Like,
Was she not allowed to drink fluids?
I think she could eat and drink, but shortly, a couple months after, Carter was born, she got really sick, and she kept having these persistent pains, and it was like it literally dropped her to her knee one time. She was getting sick and whatnot. Well, she ended up. That was when. So I got done HCTI, which is a machine program through Hypotherm at the end of March, beginning of April. Well, it was like a week or so before my birthday, and Alyssa had got sick. It's like the first or second day. Ken was my supervisor,
Yeah.
or one of my supervisors on first shift. I was training on first shift, and I was preparing to go to third. Well, this is when COVID was like shutting everything down and whatnot. She ended up getting really sick. Well, it was the same or similar symptoms to COVID. So I had to quarantine for 14 days. And I didn't want to touch the bed. I didn't want to go anywhere because we didn't know. I was like, I hope she doesn't die, but
You're
like
treating
I don't.
her like the Chinese did, where they're like welding people into their homes.
Oh yeah,
You're
like literally like patient zero. Like this
Yeah.
is like okay, and so that's when Tyler King was out. But she ended up getting sick, and she finally went to the hospital, and they figured out that it was her gallbladder. She was having issues with it.
shit.
So she actually is probably right around Easter, so mid to end of April. Near May. She ended up having her. What was it she had done? She ended up having her gallbladder taken out, and she literally could only eat Italian ice and like very soft stuff. And she lost. We were actually just talking about it, she lost probably like 20 pounds in a week.
I mean, it's just fluid diet.
Yeah, it was like she couldn't eat anything, so she's not consuming, the amount of calories that she needed, and it was pretty intense. But then when we found out that it was the same symptoms, it was like, okay, it's not COVID, thankfully, but like it was scary. That was just a dark time for everybody.
Yeah,
It's like nobody knew what the fuck was going on, and then all of a sudden, it's like, all right, everything shut down. And I remember when we were driving to Claremont, and Hibachi opened up for like the first time in months, and it was just like, okay, that's a sigh of relief almost. Like that's a small win. And then like a year later, more stuff started opening up, and then they started bringing fans back into arenas and parks and football stadiums, and then a couple years later, here we are, and everything's pretty much open.
Yeah, I mean, the vaccine being available to anyone right now is like gives like all those areas like, it's kind of on the people to regulate themselves. It's not.
It's like the flu. It's like it's not gonna go away, but like you can at least mitigate some of the risk by getting the, COVID shot booster or whatever each year. And now that it's under control, I think that people can still wear masks if they're worried about it, but kind of like more free reign.
I will say, I think I really like the idea of like, I feel like all restaurant employees should wear a mask. Period.
Still?
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's more cleanly. Like, I don't want chefs over there breathing on my food. I don't want the servers breathing on my food. I think I would be really happy with a bill that said, servers and chefs always need to wear a mask when they're on the clock.
But that'd be fucking hard. I mean, it was as hot as that kitchen gets, and they're back there fucking sweating already. Now you're having a mask and they can't breathe. You're not gonna have a chef.
Cam, I don't care. We'll find someone. We'll find a.
No, you're gonna find more people. That's not the issue. The issue is they're all gonna fucking die, or they're gonna pass out from fucking heat exhaustion.
Sounds like they need like better ventilation then. Like I feel like
if you're cooking steak all day long, right, and you're cooking French fries and you're cooking potatoes and you're doing all this stuff, you got people running in and out. You're wearing a chef coat all fucking day. You're wearing a hairnet or a hat all day long. All you're gonna do is you're just gonna sweat.
Yes.
And you're gonna heat up, and your body temperature's gonna raise, and then everything's gonna like build up. Now you want to have a mask where nobody can fucking breathe.
Yes. I would love to see that, especially like fast food workers in particular.
That'd be probably the worst thing. Think about, I don't even know what the temperature in the kitchen is, but with you got people running, your body temperature doesn't go down when you're moving around constantly. It's just gonna you're gonna heat up. You're not gonna.
It's good for them. Having your body at a higher temperature, it's good for you. Your heart rate gets going.
So
like,
I know I'm getting trolled right now, but
I'm not.
but
This is a policy I want. I might be trolling with the, oh, your heart rate goes up is good for you, which I believe.
I mean, if you do low heart rate training, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Just imagine every time we went into work, if it was a sauna. How good for us would that be?
Brother, we've gone into work plenty of times this summer, standing there, and sweat beads were dripping off of us. Just standing there, not even moving around.
All
it wasn't fun.
Is, like, you're bringing up like they're so hot. I understand they're so hot, but at the same time, they might be so hot. I need them to not be like panting on my food. I don't want them panting over there.
So you want them panting behind a mask and not be able to take it off, so then when they freak the fuck out and they literally pass out.
I mean,
from heat exhaustion.
I guess if they pass out, then you could remove the mask.
So if they die, they die.
If
they pass out, they pass out.
Listen, I just want a wall to from their face to my food. Like, maybe you could do like one of those like windows between it, and they're like treating it. You know how like we treat uranium and stuff behind a window with gloves, handling food.
How'd you get the food out?
What do you mean?
How? If you have a wall in front of you, how are you gonna get the food out? How are you gonna move it to the next station?
Conveyor belt.
Conveyor belt?
Yeah. So station 1, you have it on the grill. You take it off the grill. You put it on the conveyor belt. Goes down to the next guy. Puts it on a bun. Easy. I'm so smart about this stuff, Cam.
How do you know if you're cooking it properly?
What? There's the monitors.
But when the heat create fucking to like not fog, but like steam where you can't see on the glass. You can't see the fucking. You can't even see what you're cooking. You can't even.
just have good ventilation that sucks all that stuff out.
So why wouldn't you just have good ventilation in the first place?
You know what? You might have come around to where maybe kitchens need better ventilation. I need the best ventilations in kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. That's all you need. That's all. We just had a freaking 5-minute discussion off a 10-second idea. That's all you need. You just need better ventilation.
What about a face shield? There we go.
Why?
So you can breathe.
But the sweat's gonna build up.
Where?
In the face shield. We had the face shields at work. What happens when you sweat a lot? And you get water on it, and you get fucking all this other stuff on it. You can't see. You gotta wipe. Then you have to take it off your head. You have to re-wipe it, re-water it down.
That's your break, okay? If you need to clean it, go take your 15.
You have to take a 15 every 10 minutes. That motherfucker, you're cooking all day long. Whatever your shift is, if it's an 8-hour shift, 10-hour, 12-hour shift, you're cooking all day long. You're gonna be taking breaks all the time.
Listen.
Now ticket times are longer. Now you're gonna get less customers because they're walking out, less money. You're losing money. You're not gaining money.
All I'm saying
the
is,
economics don't add up.
If every restaurant was forced to do this, the customers would be forced to suck it up. Otherwise, what are they gonna do? Go home and make food? No.
Yeah.
No.
Or they're gonna go. If all restaurants were gonna do it, yeah. At that point, you'd have to cook your own food.
No, people would just.
Or you just get a trifecta meal subscription, and there you go. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
It's already prepared food. You just heat it up. You don't even have to cook. You just heat it up.
I don't think restaurants would go out of business if you required this.
So you're telling me that if chefs were having to take time away to go clean themselves, to actually catch their breath,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're taken away from cooking, and now say if it's supposed to take you on ticket time an average of 10, 15 minutes for, per ticket to cook steak and all the food, now it's double, triple that time. You really think people are gonna,
I don't think it would be even close to double.
if they're having to freaking catch their breath? Yeah, they're gonna cook like one freaking order, if that. Then they're gonna have to take a break. Then they're gonna have to go back. Then they're gonna have to go back to take another break to catch themselves. If you're having them wear a mask or a face shield or all this shit, just get better ventilation. It's gonna take longer, and then people are gonna eventually be like, "No, I don't wanna wait. I'm gonna leave." A lot of people are impatient. If they're there half hour and they don't have good service and they don't have their food, some people just walk out. Some people might even be quicker than that.
So, I guess I'm an abnormal customer user because I don't go into restaurants at all and sit down and eat
No.
anymore. No, COVID basically destroyed that. It's like I don't have any need. Like when you call in an order, I don't need to tip. Like that's a huge advantage. Like that's 15%.
That's just a dick move.
Why?
Well, oh, you're saying? I thought you were saying if you order, I'm like, if you order like delivery, you don't have to tip. I'm like,
No, delivery
Yeah.
you need to tip. But like if you go in and pick up your food yourself,
yeah,
I don't leave a tip at all. Well, there's one restaurant that I tip because I have a peanut allergy, and they use peanut products there, and they always assure me like we took extra care to make sure no peanut contaminations were here.
which one is that?
It's the Japanese place in West Lab.
Oh, Kodos.
No, it's like a Korean Japanese. It's really good. It's
Huh.
like I would call it a mom and pop shop, but
Oh, that's cool.
I only see one in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a really good place. It competes sushi wise with Kodo's, and it blows the Claremont place out of the water. The last time I went to the Claremont place, like they overcharged me quite a bit, and I'm like, I'm just done. The food wasn't good,
Yeah.
and they overcharged me. Like they charged me an extra meal,
Really?
and I'm like, I'm never going back to this business. And they're lucky I didn't like leave a bad review because it was garbage.
Yeah. No, we went there a few months ago with Brandon, and we were kind of hyping up. He had never been, and we go there. That's our usual date night spot, Alyssa and I. So we were like, "Hey, Brandon, hang out if you want, and we can go to dinner." So we went. It was not a good experience for him at all.
Kodo's was it? Or
No, the Kazuku in Claremont.
Okay, yeah.
And we liked it, but they gave him, I think he didn't want the soup, but I had soup, and I was like, oh, you didn't want to try the soup or whatever. He's like, no, it's got mushrooms, so that's problem number one. And then they gave him his food, and it was like, we didn't do the actual hibachi. We'd asked, but they're like, oh no, like there's not enough room or whatever. We look over at the tables. There's probably 16 seats between like 8 and 8 on each side. Literally, there was like a whole fucking hibachi like grill open, and they didn't try. I'm like, okay, so that was like the biggest problem. He had cold steak, food wasn't that great. I was like, this isn't. We hyped it up for nothing.
Yeah.
So I actually
And
felt
the
bad.
place in West Leb is only like takeout. Like
That's
they
good.
don't deliver. You have to pick up yourself. So I leave a tip for them only because number one, their entire like restaurant is off of pickup. And the fact they assure me they don't use peanuts, and I like them a lot. So, and I don't want them to poison me. So
you just found out not long ago that you had a peanut allergy, right?
Yeah.
Did you just have a reaction one day while eating peanuts? Peanut butter?
Yeah, it was a continuous of reaction. So, there was a lot of times where my mouth just felt funny and I couldn't correlate it at all. And then I had the peanut butter powder because I was in a kickness kick or whatever. So I had the peanut powder that you mix with water, and it's way more lean than peanut butter, but it's just as much protein. And I just made a PB&J with that, and I took one bite of that, well, actually, I finished my sandwich, and I'm like, oh, I'm having an allergic reaction right now. Like, my mouth was just on fire the entire time. And
Sorry.
the worst part is, like, I didn't properly, like, mix the powder with water. So it was just kind of powdery. So when I, like, ate the sandwich and stuff. And for, like, 2 weeks after, like, randomly, like, from my keyboard, because I was playing at the time, like, I would touch my keyboard and then my face would flare up. And I'm like, eventually I had to, like, go in, like, actually wipe down my desk and stuff.
Sorry.
It wasn't something like I could just leave, like, with my car on the times I've destroyed my car because I left drinks in there and they explode. Like, I'll just leave that on for, like, 6 months at a time because I really don't care. Like, when that Coke bottle exploded, that was on my windshield forever.
Wait, what happened? I never heard about this.
So, last spring, the first warm spell that came around, I had a Coke bottle because like there was a party going on, but I never brought it out or anything, and I like just left it in my car. And the first like warm spell that came through, I left work, and it was all over my windshield, all over my seat, all over my ceiling, and it's like. I was actually really mad at the time. I'm like actually hitting my steering wheel, like calling myself a retard and stuff. Like,
so wait, you were leaving work? You
yeah,
said?
I was like this was after like a long work day. It wasn't like an 8-hour work day. So I got out there like after like 12 hours, and I'm like. Like I'm just losing it.
You
and then I drove
fucking
home.
idiot.
Yeah, I drove home calling myself an idiot, and then by the time I got home, I was pretty tired, so I went to bed. Then I left for work the next day, and it's like, what the fuck is this? And I drove to work. On my way out of work, it still surprised me. And then like the next day, it's like, yeah, I don't really care. The most annoying part was like, there were dried Coke droplets on. And when the sun hit that, it was like, it would like reflect weirdly. And then another thing was like, it was imagine there was like a sprinkle always. Like, it was like always sprinkling out, but you couldn't wipe it off or anything. And I just drove like that for 8 months.
Why don't you just go to a car wash and clean it out?
It's inside.
I know, but you can still get like different wipes and stuff and clean supplies.
Ryan, Brandon, they all gave me a hard time about it.
I would too. I just did.
No, I just didn't feel like dealing with it. I think I dealt with it.
So you just smell like Coke? Like your car just smelled like Coke for months?
No, it didn't smell like Coke. Yeah, I think that Coke, because it dried up into like super concentrated syrup. Like, you know maple syrup, like when it gets fully dehydrated?
Yeah.
That was the consistency.
Oh.
So it was super sticky, and it was like, listen, I just need to dedicate a weekend to it. And that weekend didn't come until like,
It's like,
I think I had to like, there was a possibility I needed to give someone a ride, and that was the decision to actually wipe down.
it's like League of Legends, clean the car. League of Legends it is.
Listen, I wasn't playing League at the time. It was...
It's like I wasn't playing it, fuckface. So keep your comments to yourself.
I had other distractions, you know?
Dude, I still feel bad. Because remember a few months ago when I gave you that cheeseburger and you're like, oh, you don't want it? I was like, no, I had a pube on it. I plucked it off, but like, if you still want it, you can have it. You're like, oh yeah, dude, thanks. I appreciate it.
I didn't know there was a pube on it.
I told you that.
What?
I picked it off.
No, I did not hear that.
Surprise.
I thought you just didn't feel like eating that day.
No, I wasn't feeling good, and there was a pube.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought it was. Like, you weren't feeling good, so you didn't want to eat your food, so I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. I did not know you
Yeah, dude, it was fucking, like, Javier special. They had a fucking pube on the fucking burger, and I didn't feel like eating, and I was sick. So that definitely made it to where like I didn't want to fucking eat. So I was like, I was trying to pawn it off all day, and then you were like the last person I saw. I was like, hey Joe, like I got a burger. Like, do you want it? You're like, you don't want it? And I was like, yeah, dude. Like, I'm not feeling good. Like, there was a pube on it, but you can have it. You're like, yeah, cool, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. Like, but I feel bad because after you left, you got pulled over by a cop, literally right up the road. I remember passing you, be like, "Oh, that poor fucker," and then you told me that you were eating the burger that I gave you. And I was like, dude, I'm so sorry.
Dude, well, I was getting pulled over because my sticker was out,
right?
Like for 2 years. My inspection sticker was out for 2 years, so that's why I got pulled over. Yeah. But I thought I was getting pulled over because I was not safely driving at all when I was eating that burger, and I'm like, I think I swerved a little into the yellow line, and when the cop pulled me over, and he's like, you know why I pulled you over? No, he didn't even say that. He's like, I pulled you over for your sticker, and I'm like, oh, what a relief. I thought I was going to jail for reckless driving.
Dude. Imagine you had to go in front of a judge and be like, all right, what were you doing? Well, I was eating a pube-infested cheeseburger. It was really delish.
It was like,
I was jamming out.
Yeah, it was flossing my teeth. I had to like pick out stuff, you know.
Had the Beastie Boys soundtrack on. Intergalactic was bumping. But now that we
that was a good burger. I'm not
was
gonna
it?
lie.
Yeah, so I thought you heard the part about the pube.
Nope, I just heard you weren't feeling well, and that's why you didn't want to eat.
Yeah, sorry, surprise. But no, what was I gonna say? Oh, so yesterday, I was telling you we got Chinese. Well, I wasn't feeling great, so Alyssa and I got in Dunkin', and we just got a sandwich and coffee, and Alyssa got a couple things.
That makes sense when you're not feeling good.
Yeah,
Dunkin',
just need something. Well, I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m., so I ended up getting body aches, just pounding headache, pushed through it. But, so anyway, we go, and I had a C4 energy drink.
You're not making good, like,
health choices.
Feeling better, like, food.
Right.
In my opinion. Dunkin' is, like...
Says the guy that's got a Monster and a Starbucks coffee.
Listen, here's the thing. Black coffee...
That's iced coffee.
And rehab. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm in recovery right now.
Yeah. It's also... Yeah. We'll get into all that later.
Listen. 25 calories?
How many milligrams of caffeine? 300?
I can't read, so, you know.
It should be on the front.
In the front? Does it really say that? Energy drink. Hang on, he's gonna investigate. I think it's like 280.
Doesn't...
It's gonna be like the small writing down here.
160.
160?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Anyway.
There was a time I drank 3 of these a day. Like,
dude. What? Why?
Why? Because
it's 480 milligrams of caffeine.
They taste so good.
That's past your daily limit.
They taste so good. Like, legit, I would drink this as, like, to rehydrate. As a way to hydrate in the morning.
You're drinking it like water, dude. You're just fucking...
Well, it's like juice. I'm drinking juice. But it's low-calorie juice.
Dude. This... Okay. So I have Celsius right here.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me find it. So this has 200 milligrams of total caffeine per serving.
Yeah.
So I couldn't drink more than 2 of these a day.
Dude,
so like 400 milligrams is probably like the max that you should go.
Yeah.
Like the absolute max.
Yeah. But I would drink 3 of those when work served this.
Of the Celsius?
Yeah.
I do remember that because you used to come over with Ludi and you'd have like 2 of them.
Yeah.
I think, and then you'd probably get, or you might have had 3, but I remember specifically 2. You'd put them up on like the fucking stand or whatever. But anyway, back to the original point. We went yesterday and I had opened like I said, we took Brandon's jar.
Yeah.
So I opened the can of C4 and we get into the restaurant and as we're leaving, he's like, "Did you open a can in my car?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You didn't even fucking ask. You just did it." He's like, I was like, so then we got in the car. I was like, hey, Brandon, is it all right if I open this can in your car? It was already open. He's like, well, you didn't ask the first time. Like,
Why start now?
yeah, like, it was funny. And then he smoked a fucking bump, like, bad. And it was like he hit that motherfucker hard. And he just got new wheels put on a few weeks ago. And he's like, yeah, there's 2 fucking bed rims. He hit it so fucking hard. So there was like 2 or 3 more bumps after that, just on that one stretch in Springfield.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was bad. But I couldn't help but laugh. But it was a good day. Nah, I gotta get back into I took judo up. I've been taking judo up the past like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that consistently. So it's just 2 days a week right now, Mondays and Wednesdays. So I'm trying to work on some techniques, but just burnt out from
Everything.
it's everything. You know, we went to Storyland 2 weeks in a row, which is awesome. So we got to go with my parents and we got to go with Alyssa's parents. So it was good for, my in-laws to get to see the kids because they hadn't seen them for a few months and whatnot. So they live all the way up in Maine. So it was nice that they got to come down.
I thought they lived in Kentucky.
So yeah, her biological father lives in Ohio, Kentucky area, and then which is where Alyssa and her mom are from, and then her dad was in the army when she and her mom and stepdad met. So they live up in Madison, Maine. But so yeah, it was cool to see them, and just been working probably 50 plus hours past couple weeks, 6 days, and then homework on top of that. Stuff with the kids, like appointments and whatnot, judo, working out. I think everything just caught up to me. So I think my body wasn't getting the proper amount of rest and whatnot, recovery that it needed. So I think that's why yesterday I was so sick. I took Tylenol. I had a pounding headache last night, but I had a punching bag. We're trying to have a yard sale, so I had a punching bag that I didn't use. So I asked Ashley a couple weeks ago if she'd want it, and so I dropped that off to she and Crystal's house last night and talked with them for a little bit. And I started feeling better because I was getting some fresh air and just. I think that's the other thing too is I've gone outside a few times, but I actually just ordered a heart rate monitor. It's a Garmin one. And that's actually going to be here today. So I was talking to Jock at work, and he's been doing low heart rate training. So we have a run coming up next month. It's called Reach the Beach. It's an event that Ragnar hosts. I did it 4 years ago. And so you basically start in the White Mountains. It's like I don't know if it's Glen, New Hampshire we start. But anyway, we start up that way. And you have to run for 24 hours straight. Or just until you complete it. So some teams will finish it, early morning. So the elite group is six people. And then the regular teams and stuff, that's 12 people. So we have a team going down from Green Source, but Jock has been doing the low heart rate training. So basically you take 180 and you minus your age. Now, if you haven't been running for 2 consecutive years or consistently for a long time, you just minus an extra 5. So mine would be, and you have to keep that beats per minute. It's that consistency. So mine would be 150, 151, somewhere in there. So I'm 24. So yeah, probably 151. I'd have to, but basically it reduces the risk of injuries and stress on your bones. So reduce the chances of shin splints and, tearing anything with ligaments and different tissues, wearing them down and stuff like that. So you have to, it's almost like you're walking, but you're running super, super slow, and you can stay consistent with that, that pattern, for however long you run. So I'm going to try doing that and basically make sure that I'm maintaining that. And it only takes your body 2 or 3 weeks to adapt to that process. So I think I'm going to try that because you can finish strong the whole time, and you can do different grades and stuff like that, different elevation points. So I'll probably get in a couple trail runs here soon, But where I was sick, I want to take it easy. So it's gonna be like a walk and then maybe like a jog, build up to it. But we have a hotel room, so Spencer's doing it, and he didn't know what his legs were. So I went on the Riding website, went under like the legs for the roster and whatever, and I sent him a screenshot of his legs, and he's like, "Are you serious?" You know, he does it like, "Are you serious?" So I texted him and I was like, "Dude, just so you know, like these are your legs." And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Is it when you say legs? That's like the trail's broken up into certain categories. And
Yeah.
It's a team thing.
Yeah. So basically, like I think there's 30. So it's 12. I think it's like a total of 36 legs. So each person, if you got 12 people, will get 3 legs. So my 3 legs. Let me find it real quick.
Like just how many miles?
So it's like 200 miles total, or a little over 200 miles. So yeah, it's pretty intense. But mine's Spencer has like 2 8-mile legs, back like pretty much back to back. So mine are 2.9, 7.4, and 5.7, and his are 8.2, 8, and 3.4. So I was like, "Have you been training for it?" And he's like, "No, I might just do like run once or twice before going." And then
That's fucking Spencer for you.
and so I was like, "Okay." I mean, he's a crazy motherfucker. Anyway, you know better than I do, but just from what I've heard, like when he did that ruck, and it took him, I don't know, a few hours to do or whatever, and he made it in time with like a few seconds to spare. I mean, he did the same thing with the Spartan training, and he only failed one event, and it was the Hercules horse. Everything else he passed. So he's a crazy motherfucker. But I told him, I was like, "Dude," and those are listed as very hard, and easy. So mine are like easy, hard, kind of hard, whatever. But the 7.4 is gonna be hard, but it's just a matter of like mentality.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't. I think he likes looking back on those kinds of events.
yeah,
And like, he likes the suffering first, and is like, I think he's into the suffering.
yeah, we definitely share the same mentality. Like we're okay suffering. It just sucks when you're going through it, and then you look back at it and you're like, "Man,
That was
made
an
me
accomplishment.
yeah, that made me 100 times stronger."
I definitely do that.
Yeah.
Like I did that with wrestling all the time. Like, it sucks in the moment. Well, actually, I would have a blast in the moment. Match versus match, like 1-on-1, like when you're actually fighting for your life.
Yeah.
In wrestling, it's like it's not good.
No.
It's very stressful before the event, and then it's like once you get going, it's like that anxiety's just gone, and it's just replaced with like, I gotta win, or I gotta get out of this situation, or like, I miss wrestling. Too bad there's not adult wrestling around.
There is.
There's adult wrestling?
Yeah, in Newport.
Really?
Newport MMA. Yeah, that's the one I was doing. I don't know if they still have it because I know a couple of the instructors had to take some time off, but yeah, look into it. It's like $50 a month for 2 days a week, or you can do the judo with me at Nima.
I'm not too into like striking.
No, it's no striking.
There's no
No,
striking.
judo is similar to wrestling. So judo is throwing.
Brazilian?
Yeah.
Or
Well, so judo is it branches off of jiu-jitsu.
okay.
Because judo is stand up, so you're trying to get your opponent to the ground. So there's different like ogoshi, which is hip throws. There's different sweeps. There's different.
Are you allowed to like touch different body parts on the ground, or is it like?
Yeah, no, you can do like so judo is standing and trying to get your opponent to the ground. Jiu-jitsu is where you have more offense but you're working defense too.
I think it's Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can only have 2 points of your body touching the ground at once.
Yeah.
So it's like we practice that to just get our standing positions correct or whatever. If you really want to like practice picking someone up and throwing them on the ground,
Yeah.
like we would practice Greco-Roman.
Right.
But I would probably do Greco-Roman if there was a place for it. Same thing with like, I don't want to drive to Newport, even though that's where like it seems like a lot of the stuff I want to do is.
Yeah.
I really wish just Claremont had more stuff. I would want in Claremont, like either a big boxing gym.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely sign up for, or like something like within like the wrestling area.
See, so my goal, I wish I would have done wrestling. I had friends who were state champion wrestlers. They went to New England's. They went to MOCs. I think that one or two kids went to like nationals.
Yeah.
Which I think you said you did too,
Yeah.
because like they'd have, if you had a team go, you can get the experience and guys will wrestle or whatever. But I think so my goal is to train martial arts now, right? So I'm doing like the judo, the jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna try and I want to do the boxing, Muay Thai, like just different areas, right, and get well rounded. My goal is to get my degrees and have like my own practice, but I'd like to have my own gym too. So one of the areas I want to focus on, I want to have like an area for strength and conditioning, and I want to have like MMA, like so an actual cage, and sell like different merchandise. Like sell my protein powder, shirts, shorts, MMA gloves, and stuff like that. But I want to have an area for striking. I want to have an area so like you can do boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai over here, and you can do jiu-jitsu, judo and jiu-jitsu over here. But I want to have it to where you can have gi and no gi. So if you want to do wrestling, okay, you can do wrestling here on this side, right? But I want to have people come and basically they can train there, so they can pay. It's all one fee. You can get everything from MMA or one martial art, self-defense class. You can have strength and conditioning on this side. That's basically what I want to do. I want to bring that to an area here, but the problem I see with this area is that there's not a lot of competition, but Real Steel just held an event a couple weeks ago with boxing.
Really?
And so it's like, okay, they're not training boxing, but they're putting on an event. And it's like, or I think it was at the community center or something like that. But I'm like, okay, I want to do that, but I want to have, there's not a lot of people. I think where Newport MMA screwed up is that the sign says Newport MMA, but the only MMA class that they were actually teaching was at like Monday night at like 8:30 at night, 8:30 at night. I'm like, nobody's gonna do that. People have jobs, right? There's not a lot of
high schoolers do that,
right? And it's like these guys have school, adults have work. You're not getting paid for it. You're not promoting your fighters. There's no fighters around here. I think Rich Singrass is like the only fighter that is like known around here. Nobody else is like, but when Donnie used to box, he sparred with a guy who's a New England champ. He was a boxing lightweight champ. His name was Joey Gamachi, and he's from Lewiston, Maine. And so they would go from New Hampshire up there, and Donnie sparred with him. And I was like, what was it like? And he's like, dude, I throw one punch, and he'd already had two or three coming back at me. Like the speed, the efficiency, everything. You're not getting that here. You don't have guys that are training for like actual legitimate fighters that are training for hours, like doing 2 sessions, 3 sessions a day.
Right.
Like these guys will offer 1 to 2 hour classes, and that's straight. That's not enough time to learn all the disciplines that you need. You're not actually training MMA. That's what I want to provide for people.
Yeah, it's a different experience because you don't have people wanting to go professional. It's like a hobby thing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing this as a fun way to get a workout in, right? And that's how I would do it. And like if I was going to one of these camps or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to become a professional fighter
Right.
or anything like that. It's like I would like to have a discipline that I train up on and see consistent progress other than just lifting more weights. Lifting weights is so boring.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, that's why I want to get these specializations and stuff. Because if you offer people the chance to be able to train to get stronger, right? When you do martial arts, just as well as I do with wrestling, it's all about leverage. It's not about, like, you don't have to be the biggest, strongest guy to be able to take down your opponent. If you have really good technique and then you build strength over time, I think technique is more important than strength.
Yes.
I think because you can gain your leverage on your opponent, you can feel where their body's going, you understand it. It's not like you have to be good at every single technique right off. Pick 1 or 2. If you're really good at a double leg, then stick with the double leg. If you can shoot in quick on a single leg or do a duck under on somebody, awesome. Stick with that. And then if you can get a crossface, if you can get this submission or that submission or pin your opponent, if that's working for you, then do that and then kind of adapt slowly over time. But, jiu-jitsu is good. I think, and that's the thing. When I was doing wrestling, I told the instructor, the coach, I only did like 2 or 3 classes of wrestling. I wish I would have done it longer, but then they stopped the wrestling program. They moved to a different building, whatever, or a different location, couple sites down in Newport. But he was saying, if you want to do MMA, you need to learn to take a punch. So just having wrestling is good, but if you want to do actual MMA, having striking is important. Having a good ground, like defensive game is important. A good ground game is important. So
I hear taking a punch, like in boxing, is completely different, and it's like, I don't know if I want to experience that.
It wasn't bad. Like, I did the Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And I did that for probably a month and a half, 2 months before I just got really busy. And it just wasn't worth going there as much. But no, it's like, you take a body shot, right? And okay, whatever. And, you're practicing your kicks and you're taking a punch to the head. And it's like, it's not terrible, but it's how do you evade that? And I think that's the problem solving. Is like, how do you go away from this? And then it's like, you got guys with their hands down, so now they're leaving their head exposed. How do you get within striking range? How do you kind of set up traps? How do you block punches and kicks? And then I did 1 class of just regular boxing. It was like, it's so much different. Because when you only have your hands to fight with and defend with, it's completely fucking different. And the angles are slightly different. The punches are, like, the combinations are slightly different. Because you can't throw a 1-2 and then kick in boxing. It's 1-2, 3 or whatever it is. But yeah, so it was fun, but definitely want to provide more for people around here.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah. But
you want to call that a show?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in, folks.
Yeah, thank you guys. See you next time.
Yep, see ya.